Hello. What's going on, big boy?
Hello. What are you doing?
I was watching some football, but I think I'm not feeling football today. I, uh, I don't know what to do with myself when my team's not playing on the day, you know? So, but your team's not playing either.
No, we're off this week.
Yeah. Yeah. So neither of our teams are playing today. I mean, my team, uh, won on Thursday, but Thursday's such a fucked up
Yeah.
day to have
Well, hey, you know
football.
what? We can't lose today, so I'm all
Yeah,
right.
you're you, you didn't lose this week.
No,
Congratulations.
right, right. It's sad that when your team has a bye week, it's just as good as a win.
Yeah, but you know how many years I've been making that joke about my team.
It's true though.
I
That's
mean,
the sad part.
I'm starting to gauge things by our when our buddy passed away. Like if it was long enough that he was still around, it's kind of a long time now.
Oh, that's funny.
Because he and I used to make those jokes. Yeah. So what a weekend! I did absolutely nothing. I've got just well, I mean, I worked on stuff, but I mean, like as far
Right.
as leaving the house or anything, I left the house to walk the dog because I'm dog sitting.
That's it.
Yeah, got
Oh,
I got the roommates gone, so I've got full reign to be naked wherever I please for a few days.
so you're naked and gotta watch that ugly fucking mutt.
That bug-eyed freak.
Yeah. It probably scares you, those bug eyes, as you walk around just flopping your penis everywhere.
Well, here's the
Fucking
thing.
creepy.
Here's the thing. I don't flop my penis everywhere, first of all. But second, especially since the only time I see the dog is when he goes out for a walk. The rest,
I thought you were gonna say the only time I see my penis, because you're so fat. So.
is when I go by a mirror. I get you.
Oh,
I'm
God.
not that fat, but
Yeah.
I do have to kind of like lean on my toes, but yeah, where you're almost afraid you'll fall forward, and your balance is starting to quit on you, so wiggle your arms a little bit, and you straighten back up. No, 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 no. That that dog's a dick. He wants nothing to do with me when his owner's not here. So literally, he just vanishes into the bedroom, and only comes out when I click the little thing for the leash. Then he runs out. He's ready to go out, and then we come back
So he
in.
doesn't even tell you when he has to go out.
No, no,
He just.
I don't care when he's got to go out. I set the rules. I'm in charge.
Oh, okay.
I walk
All
him every
right.
like
All right.
8 hours or so. He's fine. The dog's used to it. So I walk him, and then he comes right back up, and I 2 out of the 3 times I'll refill the dog bowl and check the water, and then he gobbles it down, and then he's gone. I don't see the dog. If I didn't have to walk the dog, I wouldn't see the dog for 3 fucking days while my roommate's gone.
Wow.
Now
Wow.
when he's here, the dog's out and about and whatever. I don't know if he's just pouting in there or what. I don't care. It's just, that's how little
It's
interest.
almost like the dog is. It's almost like the dog is on the same level you are. He's like, oh, he ain't here. Like like he's probably more excited, and he's like, I get to lay around in the bed. I don't have to fucking deal with nobody. I don't have to see that dickhead with the beard and the long hair in the other room. Like
but he
he's probably enjoying
no, he's just antisocial. But then if someone were to come over and during this period, he'd come out and be Mr. Friendly and all over them. But me, I
it.
can go
Oh,
I can go fuck myself.
oh, he
I,
doesn't like you.
Let me
You're
tell you
saying.
something. It's to the point where it's almost insulting, and it's almost
Yeah.
like if I cared, it would hurt my feelings that the dog wants absolutely
Right.
nothing to do with me, but still needs me to feed
Wow.
it and walk it. So it puts up with me for that. Uh,
Wow.
it's kind of like I got the shit end of the stick here. I'm not even paid
Yeah,
to
it
do
sounds
this,
like
you
it.
know. I don't get,
Yeah.
this is all goodwill for the big favor
Yeah.
I'll ask one day, which will never come.
Which will never happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The arrangement is when he's out of town, if I don't feel like going out and getting something to eat, and I look in the fridge or freezer and there's something there that's not mine, I'll be like, fuck it. I walked him like And I'll count and I'll be like, I've walked him 12 times in a row. If I had to walk, if that was $5 a walk, that's, $60.
Right.
He could give me a fucking TV dinner. Fuck him. And then he will come home and he will always notice what I had. He'll go, did you eat my whatever? I go, yeah.
Really?
I go, yeah. And I walked your dog. And I always have the number like 18 times or 17 or, whatever it is.
So he pays attention to that.
I mean, he just notices. I don't think he's taking a photo of the fridge before he leaves. The fridge or the pantry to just do a quick accounting. So when he gets home, he notices, holy shit, that box of Uncle Ben's rice is missing.
He's got like a camera on the fridge you don't even know.
No,
every time you go in, he gets an alert on his phone.
Trust me, if there was
bastard took another meatloaf TV dinner.
Trust me, if
Salisbury steak.
If he had a sneaky cam somewhere, he'd be regretting it the first time he fucking.
He'd get an alert and it'd be a full-on asshole in the camera.
He comes back, he's looking at his phone and he goes, I had 14 pecan sandies in this box before I left. Now there's 10.
Everything's counted.
The package costs 24 and it costs $3, so that's X number of cookie. God. You owe me, no, I'm just. Can you imagine living with someone that bad?
Yeah, that'd be horrible.
Yeah.
That'd be awful. Yeah.
Yeah, so
but
what?
I was gonna say, when my parents were here and they were, sifting through my British sweets, I knew. Like I specifically told my dad one day, I said, I've seen you eye those gummy bears like 4 times. Don't touch them. I've not done a video with him yet. Yeah, no, I won't touch him. A couple of days go by and I'm like, I would check to see, and they were fine. They were, they were good, not opened. I went to Pittsburgh and came back and they left and I went over to check. He opened the bag, ate all of them except for like 3 and only left 3 gummy worms in there.
He left you just enough to do a TikTok.
But I told him not to touch him specifically, like numerous times. And he snuck in there.
I think that's a funnier TikTok. You explain all that and then go, but he left me 3 just so I could do this TikTok. And you hold up the empty package. I think that's funny.
Well, I told the story on a live. That next day.
Yeah, but there's 2
snatched him from.
But you get like 400,000 views on a video, and you have 200 people visit you in a live. I think you could do this again. I don't think anyone would accuse you of repeating yourself. And the 20 people that do can, I hope they do.
Did you see I went live today?
No, I didn't. I missed that.
Yeah.
Anything?
Yeah, I went live.
Anything interesting, or just the usual?
I had about 200 and I think I got up to like 250 at one point in the room, and I got a bunch of like coins and gifts, and then I gained about 150 followers, and then
did anyone ask for your address to send you packages? Because I know that the point is that like your dad's eyeing the gummy bears, but there's probably like 300. You probably have gotten so much food from people. There's probably like 300 other options, but he has to have the gummy bears. The one thing you told him not to touch.
Only likes the gummies.
Yeah.
Right. He only likes those. But so now I'm like real hesitant on TikTok to talk about my PO box because I got the 24-hour ban because my video from July was illegal now. So people were asking me, and I'm like, there's a link in my profile with all my information. Like I don't want to say. Because I'm kind of like tiptoeing. I don't want to say anything,
Tiptoe on TikTok. Doing the tip.
Well, the TikTok is
doing the TikTok tiptoe.
I still have a video under review for like 2 months now that they banned because they said I was bullying. I mean, who bullies eating chocolate? Who could I have been bullying? Myself for being fat?
Yeah, self-bullying is going to be a new thing.
Like absolutely ridiculous. So I don't know. The TikTok it's weird, but
yeah, we can't even sell our merch on there. Like that was the whole plan was like, oh, you're going to get this big following and we could sell our merch there and actually like turn a little bit of this like podcast thing into like I don't even know if you could promote your podcast on there. I mean,
so I slid it in today on the live. I got to tell you,
on the live
I was slick.
But my point is on a live again. There's only 200 people in there.
Right.
When your videos get like
000.
when your videos get like 400,000 views, it would benefit to do a video, but I understand the hesitancy because apparently you can be banned for doing anything that involves like self-commerce, But that was the whole idea. Was we were gonna, we were like, oh, when you have 250,000 followers, we'll be able to sell some T-shirts. We'll be able to do this. We'll be able to do that. We'll be able to promote the podcast, so people will come and everything will grow. And here we are, just like,
nope.
I look at that 250,000 number and I wet my ass with it because we can't do anything. It's like, it's not allowed. Like, what did we hustle for? It's not. Instagram will let you sell stuff on their thing. Facebook lets you promote your fucking own stuff. I don't understand this. I mean, only to your following. If you want it to be outside of that, you have to advertise. Maybe that's the thing, because TikTok's algorithms, a lot of people don't have to be following you to see your stuff. That maybe that's why it's different. I don't know. And I could maybe that I understand. And they're like, well, you're not only selling it to your followers, so we can't let you do that. You have to buy advertising. Maybe I get it. I don't know. It still sucks. Maybe it's bullshit. It still sucks because you're like you're busting your ass, and you can't even like benefit from it. Like what good is 250,000 followers if you can't get them to send you food or gifts in the mail, or if you can't sell merchandise? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, I don't know. I think I have to make you a shirt that has the logo. And then underneath in font, big enough to read, says, "Buy this at my website, link in bio." But someone will report that too. I don't know. That's ridiculous.
I know. But like you get reported for that. But then, I'm on the For You page, and then there's girls like, taking like cooking tongs and grabbing their camel toes, and I'm like, wait a second. How is that okay? But me saying, "Hey, go to my website and 25% off sales."
Some girls, their TikToks are just them jiggling their tits or something, and it's like, it's like, and they got 6 videos, a total, and they got 300,000 followers. And I'm like,
5 million likes, and I'm like,
if only it was that easy for us,
Right.
I'd be Uncle.
Yeah, but God forbid I go out there and shake my balls, and I'm banned for life.
I'd be Uncle Jiggle Balls 269 on fucking on TikTok.
Right. Ridiculous.
Although I'll tell you,
funny thing is, I did really see a video just now of a girl with a camel toe and taking some cooking tongs and like pinching it with it. I'm gonna send it to you.
Well, I honestly didn't. That was too outlandish for you to just make up. Like. That combination of circumstance, I didn't think you made that up. I mean, if you did, you're way more creative than I give you credit for. Uncle Jiggle Balls.
Well, Uncle Jiggle Balls coming to a TikTok near you.
Just for Christmas, Jiggle Balls all the way.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's so yeah, we're fucked. I don't know what to do. I mean, we're grinding, and this podcast, I guess I'll give you the update on the air because fuck it. I mean, our numbers are starting to crank back up. We were like, all of a sudden we were on fire during COVID, and then everyone went back to work, and our numbers just went fucking tanked. And then it started to curve back up, and now we're like, we're right at those peak COVID numbers that we had. And I think this month, if we're lucky, because I know that the last week is Thanksgiving, and that it's hard to imagine people downloading, listening to podcasts for those 5 days, Thursday through Sunday. So it's going to be really hard, but we could have our all-time high this month, which is good, because I mean, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. We're hoping to grow an audience. We're not doing this just for the 8 people that started listening, although they are the most important ones, because they're our ride or dies. But So, by the way, have you made Thanksgiving plans? I haven't
made Thanksgiving plans.
I feel isn't that coming up?
Yeah, I mean, I got family coming in.
Oh, they're coming to you?
They are. They're coming to me, so I don't have to go anywhere.
Oh my God! Does that mean?
Not bad.
Yeah, that is good. It saves on travel. but then you got to deal with everyone in the house.
Yeah, it's all right. I got to work Friday anyway, so.
It's good. Your parents come in, they fucking clean up your house while you're.
They do it all. They do it all. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
you gotta celebrate a holiday every month and have them come in.
It's not so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, not so bad. But yeah, I haven't bought anything yet to like cook. I feel like it's too early, you know.
Yeah,
Too
I
early
mean,
to buy like a turkey.
unless you wanted to do a turducken or something, and then you would have to. You probably can't order it in time now. I mean, it's probably
Right. No, I'm old school. I'm not. Come on.
yeah. Yeah, no, I understand. And plus, you're Italian, so you guys have weird Thanksgiving sometimes, even if it's like traditional Thanksgiving. And I apologize for all the British people who listen, or UK citizens that listen from AJ's TikToks. I know you're not Thanksgiving people, but yeah, but you'll have an Italians will have a, even if they go as traditional as possible, there'll be some Italian dish on the table. Like it won't just be turkey and stuffing, whatever.
So we've already discussed big ziti and meatballs are happening. Maybe
Yeah.
some sausage. Yeah. Me and my mother already discussed this.
Meatballs are not a traditional Thanksgiving meal item. So
No.
yeah,
No, but fuck them.
unless you did like turkey meatballs in like the brown gravy.
Who the fuck wants that?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't say anyone wanted it. I'm just saying, like, if you were to make if the funny thing would be if you made a complete Italian looking dinner, but all out of Thanksgiving ingredients. So instead of red sauce, it's the turkey gravy. You can make a lasagna, but it's got it's gonna have the
stuffing.
It's gonna have like stuffing and I guess ricotta cheese is allowed, but stuffing and ricotta cheese and the brown gravy and then the noodles, and then like I said, the turkey meatballs with like some pasta. That would be funny. If you were really creative and did that, I think they would laugh. But that's way too much work for either you or I. I'm getting exasperated even thinking about trying to do that.
I mean, I don't know if they would laugh or they'd be pissed. They'd probably be pissed.
I mean, it's not like they don't like that kind of food too. I'm just saying that, like if for one big gathering you didn't have any traditional Italian food, would that be the end of the world?
Yeah.
It might be.
It might be actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably would not be good. But yeah, look, I've already decorated my house. I've got all the Christmas shit up.
Oh, I was going to
say.
Got
all the.
What do I thought you meant?
I'm full on, bro.
We were talking Thanksgiving, and you're like, I decorated the house, and I'm like,
I did yesterday.
But I understand, but not for Thanksgiving. I'm like,
we're Christmas ready.
Right, I understand, but when we were talking about Thanksgiving, and you said you decorated the house, I'm like, what did he like? Put out pilgrims and
a bunch of fucking turkeys
and make some of those like hand turkey art things.
No, I got the Christmas tree up, all the lights. We celebrate Christmas from November through New Year's. Like that's it.
But
the holiday season, pal.
Well, it's November. It's technically kind of within the realm of dead center of the month. So you're celebrating Christmas for like 6 weeks.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, why not?
5 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that.
It's like the summer of George.
It's the summer of George.
Yeah.
Well, what did I reference to that was the summer of George?
Dan Lampert last night on AEW.
Dan Lambert was in a velour or velvet or some kind of electric blue tracksuit. It was phenomenal, and it had his America's Top Team logo on it. I think they should have all come out in those. They didn't have to wrestle in them. They could have taken them off and had gear underneath. But I was a little disappointed that they all had matching gear. They didn't. None of them had matching gear. I think Ethan Page and Scorpio had matching gear, and that was it. I mean, all of Jericho's team were all matching, all wearing camouflage and flak jackets or whatever they had. They were all head to toe matching. So
I was disappointed Paige Van Zant was involved in like this entire angle except for last night.
Masvidal was involved with the initial throwing of the knee and to Jericho's head too.
He wasn't there.
He wasn't there too. I think anyone that wasn't going to be in the ring wrestling last night
Right.
during that match, they didn't bring, because with 10 people and it's a street fight, so they're fighting everywhere. Then it's not contained to the ring. That it's
Right.
already chaos, and then you're gonna have other people that you have to work around, and it would have been way too much. I think. I understand why they didn't. I mean, it would have been. I mean, she's like the eye candy of the group, I guess. So I mean, it would have been better if she was there. But if she's not in the match, which I was hoping she would be in the match, I don't. There's no point, because it was just pure chaos, and to have like other people out ringside, it would have only messed things up. I think. I don't think you could have
Right.
benefited anything from it. It was funny though, because like when the wrestlers were in the ring, it was like they were going 90 miles an hour, and then when like Arlovsky got in the ring, they slowed it down to like 15 miles an hour to kind of work around him and let him do something like his, I don't know, 90 seconds
Right.
or 2 minutes that he was in the ring working, so that he actually like quote wrestled with them in the ring. They just slowed everything down to accommodate him, and then those guys got relegated to the outside and were just kind of like bullshit fighting in the background.
Yeah, I only watched highlights. I didn't watch it last night, but we're talking about AEW, by the way.
Yeah.
If nobody knows what we're talking about.
It was really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, as usual.
Yeah.
I saw there was a New Japan wrestling show too last night. I guess that was in LA. I guess like New Japan, but the American version. It looked like it was sold out.
I'm sure.
So,
well, on the West,
wrestling is
on the West Coast.
Yeah, it was
right?
in California.
Yeah, see, they don't. I think. I mean, AEW doesn't ever go to the West Coast yet, so.
Right. So I think wrestling was alive and well last night, except for WWE, which I'm totally okay with.
Well.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in terms of there being like live events, yeah.
Right.
Ring of Honor died, so I don't know how alive and well,
Yeah.
certain parts of wrestling are, and some certain parts just died this month. So I guess
I see indie shows though, like drawing pretty big crowds. You know?
Yeah. I'm sure the thing Blake does every year, the Starcade, is what's not Starcade. It was, what is it called?
WrestleCade.
That's probably going to be a full house, packed event.
I would imagine. Yeah, they just announced Matt Cardona versus Jay Lethal. So
yeah,
WrestleCade. But yeah, I didn't watch wrestling last night. I've only watched like a little bit of football today. Really, just disinterested when my team's not playing.
Yeah,
I'm getting hammered in fantasy football, so does it really even matter at this point?
Yeah, I don't know. You should just take a nap and wake up later and see if things are better.
I mean, if not, I'm going to keep eating myself into a hole.
Well, I assume you were doing that anyways.
I am, yeah. Mm-hmm. Solid eating today.
Yes.
I'll tell you that much.
So what else you got for me?
I really don't have anything.
You are the worst.
I went live today. This is the way I wrote it. I went live today, and a lot of people started asking me about my wrestling because they're starting to realize that I wrestled, or they watched a YouTube video.
Well,
whatever.
we put the match out on a lot of the social medias, so
right,
and we talk about
and it's on mine, it's on yours, right. I put some clips up.
Did you put it up on your TikTok or no?
No, I just put it on my YouTube page, and it's getting views, and I put a little clip on Instagram. People are flocking to it, but the amount of people asking me about it today was insane. They're like, "Are you making a comeback?" And I'm like, "Yeah, and I'll give them the standard if I can get in shape. Maybe I'll do a couple shows." But people really want to see me come to the UK and wrestle, and I think I need to figure out a way next year just to get on, even if it's like couple shows, get over there and maybe do some wrestling.
You want to be the American Grado.
Well, so somebody in the thing said, "Do you know Grado?" And I said, "I don't know him personally." I said, "But I know who he is. He's amazing, and he's funny, and he's great in the ring, and has the best entrance in like indie wrestling." And she said, "I know him personally." And I was like, "Whoa, how?" And she's like, "Oh, we played on the same soccer team together. I know him through there." And I was like, what? And she didn't know anything about him. She had no clue about him wrestling. She knew he was a wrestler because she knew him from soccer, but didn't know that, like, didn't watch wrestling. Like, she was just like, I know he wrestles, but we played soccer together, which I thought was totally wild. Like, you know,
that's like Chaz being on like people's kickball teams down here, and people
right,
don't even realize he was in the WWE 20 years ago.
right, right. Like, you know, former tag team champion, all that. But
Yeah.
like, yeah. So I was like, man. But I would love to wrestle him first of all because he definitely just I just want to be out there for the entry
Well,
of Madonna.
I think both. I think both scenarios work pretty good. You could wrestle him, and you're like each
Right.
other's counterpart from across the pond, or you
Well,
two could do a tag. You could do a tag, probably a pretty solid tag team.
the American UK, yeah. Well, that would be actually kind of funny. I just want to come out to like a prayer by Madonna.
Well, he does
Like
that. You didn't you? What's yours?
Right.
What's yours? What was your
Well, we need Taylor Swift.
right? Taylor Swift. But we also had that like the dad bod version of it, right?
Right, yeah. But yeah, so a lot of people were asking me about wrestling today, so which is cool because it's something like, you know, I think they're just seeing it now and going, wait, what? You know, you're a wrestler? I was like, yeah, you know. Just you know, my record against Billy Fives is 1-1, by the way, now, just so everybody knows.
So you
Just want to make that clear.
So you still don't have a losing record
I mean, I'm 1-1. He's still not better than me.
in the ring. I think we all have losing records with Billy outside the ring.
Right, for sure. But yeah. So a lot of people were asking about wrestling today, which I thought was cool. And
Does it like fan the flames a little bit?
it does. It really does.
No,
'Cause I'm like, I really think
that's not good.
I want to but I want to do like I want to do the Breakfast Club comedy stuff and maybe incorporate some UK candy bars into it, or like I don't want to be serious. Like Billy and I were, you know, it was fun, but I want to be Breakfast Club where like when I did that match in Carolina and I like did a superplex on Powers into the Fruit Loops and the place went fucking ape shit because they, you know, I suplexed them into Fruit Loops. Like
Right.
that's what I want to do. I want to do that.
How did he
That's
sell?
what I
How did he sell the Fruit Loops? Did he sell it like
We
they
both
were?
sold it.
Did he sell like they were
Yeah.
thumbtacks?
We both did. Yeah, we both did.
Yeah.
Because we both landed in it. And then I did the one where I gave the guy the Ric Flair slam off the top rope into the cereal, and he sold it the same way, like he got thumbtacks in him.
Well,
And
I'm
that's what I want to do.
I'm serious though that if you do the comedy thing, I definitely want to do the spot. Maybe I have to come out with you or something.
Right.
I could be like your Brandon Cutler,
Nice,
just that I'm your videographer
Yes.
and whatever.
Yes.
And I'm also like your merch guy. But
Right.
but I come out, I'm ringside, and maybe I don't want to cause shenanigans too much, but I think there's a spot for me to revive you with a powdered donut and crack it
Right.
like a smelling salts under your nose when you're unconscious, and you like
And I wake up.
and you jerk back awake like you just like this, you know, like smelling salts. You know how you react to that. I think that would be a hilarious spot.
What I should do, a hilarious spot would be is if you cracked it like the smelling salt, and I got up like Hulk Hogan, and I did the whole like Hogan,
Yes.
and I looked at the guy,
It's-
and you
you-
know, I Hulk up from the donut that you put under my nose. You know, he's punching me, and I'm no selling it, and then I'll you
You wag the finger back and forth, and then you punch him.
Right,
Yeah.
Yeah, punch him, and instead of the leg drop, I do something where you toss me a donut, and like I do something with the donut. You know,
Maybe just
Donut's gotta be
hit him
involved.
in the face with a donut or something.
Donut, right. Oh, I always like my favorite. Used to
Or
be,
if
I did it
that's-
a couple times.
Well, hold on. If that's like your big moment, maybe that's where you throw your patented drop kick, or if you abandon the drop kick, or you just not interested
Yeah,
in getting back into
Those
shape.
days are those days are over, pal. There will no longer be any jumping involved in my wrestling matches.
I mean, I thought
I
like
was thinking,
if you were getting serious about going back to wrestling, that eventually you might try and drop a few pounds. But you're telling me those days are over too.
yeah. But I was thinking more of the lines of like I shove a first I thought I'd shove a donut in his face and super kick him, but then I said, I don't even think I can get my leg up that high anymore. So I think what I would do is
I'd love
maybe
to
shove a donut in his mouth and hit him with like a disc, like the discus lariat, because that's like I can do that. I don't have to really move.
Unless there's a way to get the guy on his knees so you can super kick him there.
Oh, this is bad. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't wrestle. Maybe we should hold off on that.
If you can book yourself in comedy spots, why the hell not?
Right, and I think so. I think I'm gonna get, I'm gonna do some stuff for Turbo next year, and I just I feel like I can do that. I can do those comedy spots, and I can make people laugh, and and do stupid comedy where it's like I really don't have to work very hard, but I still get to entertain. Like one of those. And even I told you Josh had some ideas in South Carolina about me coming into. He actually said, I don't think I told you this. He said, "Oh, you come in and you can be like my tag partner. Like I save him and we reunite and we do a couple shows and then then he writes me off." And I was like, "What do you mean write me off?" He's like, "Well, then you're done." I was like, No, pal. I'm not going. You're not writing me off. Like I'm not being written off like a show, like off of a program. I said, we can tag and then I can still wrestle. He wanted he had this idea where like they would literally like kill me, and I was like, no, you're not killing me.
Like Adam Cole?
Like, why would I be killed?
Kill him like Adam Cole?
Right. He wanted to kill me, and I was like, no, I'm not. No, we're not being killed on, fake killing, obviously, but
right.
I wasn't being killed off the show.
Kill
no,
the character,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, you're not killing the character. Yeah, but I will say, since I wrestled Billy, that next day, that Monday, I got 2 messages saying from one guy, hey man, I see you're working. And I was like, well, it was a one-shot deal. He threw me 2 bookings, and I turned them down because one was the week of Thanksgiving. Like that weekend, I can't do it because Nick has basketball. And the second was in January. And, I was like, it's in North Carolina. It's a building I've worked in many a times. And I was the champ there at one point. And I said no because he hit me with the line of all lines. And what do you think that line is? Where's the line that every wrestling promoter that runs a show hits you with?
Well, I feel like it's going to have something to do with I don't have any money, but
right. It's a low budget show.
Yeah.
Now, when you tell somebody it's a low budget show, you're telling them I don't have the money to pay you.
You're preparing them for a hot dog and a handshake as your
right.
As your
yeah. Right, and I'm really bad at saying no, but I stood my ground. I said no, I can't do it. I can't do shows for free. Like, I'm not saying that I can't. I won't do shows for free.
Right.
I just won't.
Right.
I
mean, the one down here was a charity deal, and it was with your friend and all that other shit. But you were still handed an envelope, whatever was in it.
I was.
You didn't do it for free. You probably would have, but that's a one-off. I mean,
And I donated the money instead of taking it. But that was my choice, not somebody else's.
I love that you and Billy donated your money like right in front of someone, and they chose not to do the same thing.
Totally put the money in his pocket. He's like, I'm not donating mine. I was like, oh, you prick. And Gangrel donated his too, by the way.
Yeah.
So. But, it made me think of a story. I know we want to start telling more stories here. I'm going to tell a wrestling story.
We do, but before we do that,
I know. Yeah.
Let's do a little bookkeeping here. I mean, not bookkeeping. Let's do a little business here.
Promotion.
We have all of our merchandise is now 30% off.
30. When did that change?
In time for the holidays. Get it early because Ben and the post office cannot guarantee that it will show up on time if you drag your feet. But we've got hoodies, we've got hats, we've got T-shirts, we've got tank tops, we've got the original logo, we've got the Japanese logo. Everything must go because we're going to have new designs in the new year, and we are starting to run out of sizes. We're out of one or two on like 1 or 2 items, so we're not there yet. But I have a feeling that it's coming. That soon enough we will start to really run out of stuff, and it'll be slim pickings unless you're like a smaller 3XL. So go to our website and listen. Since this is not TikTok, I can say go to our website,
Hmm.
and we've got a sale and we're selling merchandise and blah blah blah. All the links are in the description to everything. They're in our bios. They're on our social medias. But you can go to brizcliz.com, brizcliz.com, and find it there. All right, now back to your story.
I didn't even know 30% off. I mean,
Yeah, I decided
this is a
today.
steal.
I'm like, oh, let's drop it another 5. We're starting to get to the holidays. We want to get rid of all this stuff. So eventually, ideally, I might drop it again at some point, maybe, but maybe for a Black Friday. But it's not going to be a significant drop, and it's also not going to guarantee that by that time, whatever you're looking for will have in your size. So you know,
This is a big deal.
I mean, it's where
Yeah,
it's
big deal. All right,
things are happening.
30% off.
Yeah,
I'll make sure to tell everybody on the live 30%.
there you go.
So I was going to tell a story about because we want to tell more stories. That's what we've been talking about, telling more stories. And I think wrestling stories.
Everybody wants us to
seem
tell more stories. It's not. I
Right.
want to tell more stories.
You do too.
I feel like everyone's like maybe there's a small audience for every episode being what we ate since the last episode and how
Right,
fat we
right,
are
right.
and what fat guy
Right.
problems we've been having. Now some of that can be entertaining, but stories are better. So give us your wrestling story.
So I do want to tell. It's a story about the company that had asked me to come in just now and do some stuff where, I'm not going to do it. But before I do that, I just want to give a shout out to my boy Speedy. I know he listens. What's up, Speedy? We got to get you on the show soon. I think we talked about that. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. A little plug.
Look at you
Speedy.
randomly just throwing names out.
Right. So this company, when I had moved to North Carolina 2007, 2006. So I moved there and I wanted to wrestle and I didn't know anybody there. So I went on Facebook and actually at the time it was maybe MySpace, and I found this company that was running wrestling shows, and it was like World Class Extreme Wrestling. So it was about an hour from my house, 45 minutes. So I sent the guy a message, tells me to come. So I get my gear. I was Tommy Vandal at the time. Drive all the way down there, and I'm first time there. I don't know anybody there, and the guy says, "Hey, tonight you're in a match. You're gonna work this other guy from he was from like Pennsylvania or something, or New York or something like that. He was in town, and you're gonna work him, and you're gonna do this match, and blah blah blah. And you're gonna go over. Okay, cool. That's how wrestling works. I met Mark James there. First time I ever met Mark James was then 2003 or 4. So
That's a long relationship.
sorry, no, it was 2006. I'm sorry, it was 2006. So I met Mark there because Mark was wrestling there at the time. I also met there one half of FTR, which is in AEW. Dawson was his name at that point. He's which one is he? He's the one who wrestled Pac the other night.
Yeah, the bald one.
The bald one. I met him there because he was there at that time. So I'm wrestling this guy. I never met this guy before. We're gonna wrestle this match, and we do the match. I go over. 1, 2, 3. Bell rings, and all right, I win. I turn around, and the guy's handed me a belt, and I'm like, "What's this?" He's like, "The heavyweight title." I said, "Wait, what?" He goes, "You're the champ.
Nobody
You just
told
won the
you?
title." Nobody mentioned to me before, like I didn't know anybody there. I had never met any of these guys before in my life. They'd never seen me wrestle.
Did you
The
know
only way
you
they
were
have known?
Did you know you were fighting someone
No,
that was a champion?
he wasn't the champion. That was the thing.
Oh, this was
It was like
this was like a tournament thing or something, or just a
It was
random.
one match. Yeah,
So you come
So-
into a company with no prior history in that promotion, zero.
None.
So this random guy shows up, and they just say whoever wins this match gets our heavyweight title.
But they never said anything. Like I didn't. I got there. I met everybody for the first time. I knew none of these guys. Never seen them a day in my life. met everybody, and they didn't, the only reason they would have known me is if they watched FOW back in the day, if they bought the DVDs at the store or whatever. And I never met any of these guys before, so nobody mentions anything about a title match. Nobody mentions anything. I don't even see a belt. They don't even announce it. Like, there's no, like, this is for the heavyweight title. If they did, I wasn't out there yet, so I didn't hear it. So, yeah, 1, 2, 3. I'm like, hey. I'm like going to leave the ring, and the guy's like, oh, the title. I was like, what title? Like, he literally handed it to me, and I was like, what? He's like, you're the heavyweight champion. I was like, since when? He's like, since now. He hands me the belt.
Since when?
Right. All right. So now I'm holding the title. There's a, it's a venue full of people who have never seen me before. These people have no idea who I am. It was like a 6-minute, 7-minute match. Nobody in the building knows who I am, but now I'm the guy on top of the company. Like, I'm the man. With no prior history there. It was really weird, but I went on to I wrestled there for 2 years and had some pretty good matches. I worked Dawson a bunch of times. I brought Johnny and Beeston and Flex from Florida, and we did some stuff, the lifeguards. We did a Florida versus North Carolina war at that point, and it was Team Florida versus Team North Carolina, and I was on Team North Carolina, but I was the guy from Florida, so we were drawing pretty good shows. We brought, like, John Davis came in from Florida. Good shows, solid shows. But now they're coming back, and he asked me to come back. I just can't do it. I don't want to drive 4.5 hours now to,
You're afraid.
It doesn't make sense.
You're afraid they'll hand you the belt again.
Yeah, and I had to keep going back. But what's funny is this actually goes into a second story. This has happened to me twice in my wrestling career. The second time, I went to Ring of Honor camp. Do you remember when I did that? I went to ROH camp.
I know. Did you go at a separate time from the other guys?
I met Drew there. That's where I met Drew.
Oh, you met him at that? Okay.
I met Drew, and I believe Jeff Boom were there when I was there. But I met Drew there that day. So Drew used to be part of the Breakfast Club. Now he's getting married for a second time. Big mistake. Anyway.
Taking the shot. I love how we find out on Instagram. What a world.
Right. We found out on Instagram. Right. So anyway, I go to the Ring of Honor camp, and it was in Philadelphia. So it was a 2-day camp. Drew was there. And Ring of Honor, which is now going out of business after the end of this year here, was huge at the time. I mean, you had the guy who ran the camp was Delirious. Delirious was the booker. You had Kevin Kelly, you had Steve Corino, you had Mike Bennett, Maria Kanellis, you had Cheeseburger was there at the time. Well, he's still there. He's going down with the ship, I guess. They were all there. I mean, a lot of big names, but in the ring for the camp, it was a good class. Me, it was Drew, it was Boom. Sonny Kiss was in the class with us, who's in AEW. He was in the class. Nick Camarada, who's in AEW, he was in the class. So there were some names in this class, right? A few other guys that ended up being on Ring of Honor TV. So anyway, we do this camp, and it was really way out of my comfort zone. Like, I never did anything like this. I never really tried in wrestling. Like, I had fun doing the shows.
Ever.
No, I didn't. All I cared
Even when you were a
was,
promoter.
Right. I didn't care. You're right. It's so true. All I cared about was having fun and partying after. That's all I gave a shit about my entire career. Like, but now I had kids, I'm older, this and that. This is only a couple of years ago. So I said, all right, I'm going to do it. I drove up there. Big Vito, who doesn't speak to me anymore, hooked me up with Kevin Kelly. Went there, met Kevin. Hey, we'll take care of you. So I know I can wrestle. I know I can. I was in the best shape. I was like 225 pounds at that time. Great shape. Just started the Italian gimmick. It was the first time I was ever going to use it. Never used it prior. I had a whole story built up for when they, asked me what my character was. So I get there, 2 days. I worked my ass off. Like, I was fantastic in the ring. It was to the point where Cheeseburger had said to me the second day, like, hey, I want to give you some shine. I'm going to work with you on our scrimmage. And I was like, really? He goes, but we're going to do it totally different. So Kevin Kelly had this idea where we would, like, they were just doing scrimmage matches. Like, next up, this guy and this guy, you know, they were calling it. We didn't. Kevin Kelly's like, we're gonna shock everybody, because they were trying to get me like a shot, you know, to get signed. So they had Cheeseburger get in the ring, and they're like, who's your opponent? And Kevin Kelly was like, whoa, wait, hold on. Like, made this whole big, like, we ran an angle at the camp. I came out, me and Cheeseburger did like a 5-minute match, right? Cheeseburger goes over. I did great. Did great on my promos. I was just, everything was like flawless. So at the end of your second day, they vote on who is like, do they believe you're ready for Ring of Honor TV? So they go through Delirious. Yes. Like, he's the man in charge. Steve Corino. Yes. Kevin Kelly. Yes. Mike Bennett. Yes. I forgot who
Is
else.
this some is this like some kind of weird reality show where they're all sitting there and they give their thumbs up? Or
it
thumbs
was.
down?
They were all in school. Yes, they were.
This is weird. Did they film it?
They did not film it.
I feel like this is something they should have filmed and like had on YouTube or whatever.
And there were so many big names there, like, who ended up becoming stars in wrestling.
Like to have a panel of people at the end of this like 3-day thing or 1 day or whatever it is. To be like at the end and you're standing there and everyone says they're yes or no. It's so like who would do that if it wasn't like for an audience? Like, that's so weird. Right.
It was weird. It was very weird.
Uncomfortable,
and you're wrestling in front of no crowd. Right. You're wrestling in front of the boys, so it's really weird. But so I go and it goes in like, you know, Kevin Kelly, yes, thumbs up. Delirious, yes, thumbs up. You have to have an unanimous thumbs up from everybody on the panel to get a shot, like to go work the actual show that weekend. The Briscoes, yes. Everybody, yes. Carino. It gets to Maria Kanellis. And she goes, no.
Wow.
And I'm like, you fucking cunt. I just stared her down. Like, just stared. I was livid inside. She said no. So I get out of the ring. I'm pissed. Like, you could just see it on my body language. And I feel somebody grab my ass. And I turn around, and it's her. And she's like, hey, like, I just want to, like, explain to you. I was like, yeah, I would love for you to. And Mike Bennett, who is her husband, is going, she's crazy. She's an idiot. She should have gave you a thumbs up. She's like, I just don't get your gimmick. And I was like, what do you not get? I'm an Italian. You know, my story is like, I'm, you know, fighting for, it's basically fucking Tony D'Angelo on NXT right now. Right. Like, my story was like fighting for the family, blah, blah, blah. I had a whole story. And she's like, yeah, I don't get it. I was like, and he's giving her the business with his wife. And he's like, what do you not get? And she's like, I just don't get it. This does nothing for me. And he's like, it's fucking great. So I didn't get to do the show because of her. And she was like trying to, like, you know, no, don't be mad. And I was like, you fucking cost me a chance, you know? Like, I could have been on TV doing even if it was a dark match, you know? Because it was at the ECW arena the next day. So like I thought that would have been cool. But
yeah, totally.
Anyway, Steve Corino approaches me after and says, hey man, I really like you. Where do you live? I had never met Steve before. So I live in South Carolina at the time. And he's like, I run shows in North Carolina. I would love you to come up next weekend. Are you free? And I said, yeah, I'm free. He was like, come up and work. He's like, I absolutely love you. He gave me his phone number. We exchanged numbers. I mean, just put me over. I love you. I love everything about you. You're old school, blah, blah, blah. And Corino was an idol. Like, I loved him in ECW. He was always my favorite. So I get to the show the next weekend, and he's like, you're in a battle royal. So I'm like, I'm in a battle royal. Like, I drove all the way here for a battle royal. What the fuck? Like, you know, I was a little pissed. So he's like, you're going to go over. I was like, oh, I'm winning the battle royal? He's like, yeah, you're going to win the battle royal. That's all he said to me. I love
again, you're coming into a promotion. You're brand new. Like, nobody knows who the fuck you are. Nobody's seen you in the ring in their promotion once, and you're winning the battle royal.
Winning the battle royal, right?
And this is Steve Corino, who like, you know, like, okay, I know that there's more to the story, but right now he's like, I mean, yeah, and he's working for the WWE, for the Performance Center now, and or an agent. I don't know what he's doing right now, but he's employed. He's an agent. Yeah, he's still employed with the WWE. He helps everyone put their matches together and all that shit. It's like this is, you know, and okay, go ahead.
Right. So he's like, and he was ECW heavyweight champion. I loved him so much. I dyed my hair blonde at one point because I wanted to be Steve
I
Corino.
remember.
Right.
I remember.
So
I remember seeing him in MLW. I think wasn't he in the
right.
barbed wire?
Extreme Horseman. Right.
Was
Barbed
he in
wire.
the
Yeah. Yep.
where they
Yeah. He
took the
was.
ropes down and strung it back up with
First
barbed wire?
homicide, I think it was, or something.
No,
Yeah.
no, no, no.
So,
It here
Terry Funk, wasn't
it
it?
was. I think it might have been Funk and Sabu. It might have been a
It was Funk.
three-way.
Yeah, something like that. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, you're gonna go over in the Battle Royal. Oh, cool. Battle Royal is the main event. Okay. I'm like, all right, I'll go over. It'll establish me. That's all he says. Comes down to the last two guys, me and Zane Riley. Zane Riley, he's in the show Heels on Stars, by the way. So we do the deal. He thinks he throws me out. I, hang on. I throw him out. Bell rings. The winner and new Pro Wrestling PWF Heavyweight Champion.
Wait, what?
Yeah, AJ Janazzo. And I'm like, I look at the ref. I was like, what? He's like, Steve didn't want to tell me it was for the title.
He wanted a genuine. He wanted a genuine reaction, but it's probably the wrong one. He's just like confused, not excited.
Well, it was funny because like when he saw me at Ring of Honor for that camp, he saw something in me and was like,
that's
I see something in this guy.
my champion for the next 2 years.
Right. So he puts the title on me that night. I'm shocked. I got in the back and I was like, I'm the champ. He's like, yep. He's like, time for you, like this is like he was like, this is what you should be. Like, this is and it's an up and coming company and you're going to be the champion.
This is
cool.
This is like instead of signing someone to a contract and paying them money,
right?
Like you give them the belt so they feel obligated to come back.
Right. I had no choice.
You're locked in, but, at least for one more show.
So right. So he gives me the belt, and I remember asking him. I gave him the belt to take back. He's like, "No, you're taking it home with you." And I was like, "What?"
That was Billy.
So
wasn't that with Billy? The thing with Billy too. He was like, "Get this belt off me. I don't want to keep working shows."
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And usually that's it. So Carino gave me the belt. Well, 6-7 months go by. I'm still champion every month. And I remember we sat down one day, and I said, "Hey, like, what's the?" He's like, "You're gonna be champion for 2 years." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I got a banner in the building. They still have the banner up. A giant banner with me. I was the longest reigning champion there until,
it's like a vertical banner that I guess it hangs from the ceiling. And it's got you on it and your yeah
with the belt, and it's like it's pretty fucking cool, and the banner's still up there. But I held the title for almost 2 years. The only reason I dropped the plan was for me to keep it for 2 years and drop it. Well, almost at the 2-year mark, Steve Corino got signed by WWE and he had to go work for them. When he worked for them, he ended up selling the company kinda. Somebody else was gonna run it. So they were like, that day I showed up, they were like, "Hey, we can't pay you anymore." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "Well, we don't, Steve's not here anymore. He's in WWE and now we're running the company and we can't afford you. So what do you want to do?"
How does that how does that change? Like, I don't understand. How was Steve paying everyone? Was he losing money every month? That doesn't make any sense.
To this day, I believe it had nothing to do with money. It had to do with the people who took over did not have the same vision as Steve and did not value me or see me as champion and didn't want me there.
That makes.
When I think about it now,
that makes a lot more sense.
Business, right. Now that I'm removed from the business a lot more, and I really don't care about hurting people's feelings, I start thinking about, I really truly believe that the people there didn't believe in me, didn't want me there, didn't want me on the shows, because it ended up, there was a time period where it became a buddy system. It was all the friends, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I said, "Well, what's the options?" They said, "Drop the title tonight." And I said, "Well, Steve said I'm supposed to keep the title for 2 years. We have this whole thing planned out." They're like, "Yeah, it's changing." So I had to decide before the match that I want to drop the title, because they did give me the option, or hold on to it, but not be paid to come back. And I said, "Yeah, I'm not going to work for free, so I'm going to drop the title." and I dropped the title to John Skyler, who is now in Impact Wrestling. He's done some AEW, but now he's signed by Impact. I dropped the title to Skyler that night, and everything like Brett and Shawn Michaels, like the, you know, the screw job, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like the Montreal screw job.
Yeah, of course.
I was angry that night because I felt that I gave that company like almost 2 years of my time and put on some really good matches, some really entertaining shit. The crowds were bigger and bigger and bigger, and
yeah, but that was
but
that was Steve. It's not Steve
right
anymore, you know.
No, right. But I felt like those guys really like fucked me over, and I was so mad that I went out there and just not that I laid down. We had a good match, but when the 3 happened, I literally just rolled out and like grabbed my shit and I was like, I'm going home. Like I was so mad. I was so mad because I don't know, the way they did it, and I knew it was like, it was the buddy system, put the title on the friends, and the buddy system, which went on there for a while, but now it's changed again, and it looks like they're on track, doing really well. So, but yeah, so twice in my career, I've showed up somewhere and someone put the title on me and was like, "You're champ." I was like, what? Since when?
Yeah, without you knowing, yeah, that's
right,
nuts.
right. So, because I'm not that good of a wrestler, so it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but you're a solid performer.
Right, and I was in Carino's Fed. I was serious. I didn't fuck around. I was working.
You respected Steve Carino too much to do.
I did. I was in incredible shape. I wore actual wrestling gear, and I had a team. We had a group. We were a group. It was me. I was the champion. I had a manager that was an Italian guy, and then we had Jimmy Cicero, who's been wrestling probably been wrestling for 35 years. He was in our group. We were an Italian like mob. That's what our group was. I don't even remember the name we had. This was before the Slambinos, and we had some name. I don't remember what our group name was, but it was fucking. It was cool. It was cool. It was that was fun times. But,
how many Italian mob group gimmicks have you done in your career?
That's only 2. That one, and then which I don't remember the name of.
Slambinos. I thought maybe you had done more.
Which is Slambinos. I mean, when you think about the history of the Slambinos, it was really just me because, Fascizzo Ciazzo, I had to carry him. And before that, I was stuck with Vito and Tommy Perinelli
and whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Big Vito. It's so funny. Like I've had him blocked for years because,
right.
I mean, it's kind of a short story. Me and Disco Inferno have this internet feud that's been going on forever. Like it may be a decade at this point, where we just basically every now and then, it's real simple. Every now and then we just pop on each other's posts and just tell the other one to shut up. The origins of it go back a little bit more, where he was trolling my friend Jackie, because Jackie always posts sports stuff, like Homer, South Florida sports stuff. And eventually I started, like, when Disco would comment on something, I would comment under his comment with "Shut up, Disco." And eventually that caught on. And then he started firing back at me. And now that's all we do. Every now and then we just pop on each other's thing and tell the other one to shut up, and with no context. It's like we're just saying something and the other one just tells us to shut up. But it's like a friendly feud, and it's been going on so long that people that I wouldn't even imagine are aware of it. Like people that that aren't even on my friends list that are probably follow Disco are like, because it's been happening for so long that it's, I wouldn't say it's like a well-known thing, but it's beyond the scope of my friends. And even I'm surprised that some of my friends are even aware of it. Every now and then I'll get a random like Disco comment to me and I'm like, oh, I remember that we actually feud and that this thing's... So Big Vito tries to jump in on it, but he doesn't understand the nuance of it at all. He doesn't understand that like it's a friendly thing, and even though we're telling the other one to shut up, there's no animosity, there's no whatever. and he will just start going on and trying to join in the fun and
Right.
try and join this troll war with me. But instead, he's like just mean spirited and saying shitty things about me to me. And I'm like, all right, this guy's done. And I finally blocked him. Like the whole concept of what we were doing went right over his head. Even though he was trying to join in the fun, he didn't understand how to do it. And it was just like, people were like, what's this guy's fucking problem? You know, no one ever said that about disco. Right. But as soon as Vito started doing his dumbass shit, probably because he's fucking half a Looney Tune with his fucking head injuries, sorry, I don't mean to make fun of anyone, but I regret that. But he sued so many people over fucking CTE at this point and lost that I feel like I can take the shot. Fuck him, especially since he was a dick to me. What irony is that back in the day, like in the old WCW days, me and Jackie and him kind of hung out a couple of times. Everyone was friendly.
Right.
He was cool, but he just didn't understand. Even remember when we went out that one night before the and everyone got super fucked up, wasted, and everyone was
Yeah, we were in the
and I was hiding
in Fort Lauderdale,
and I was hiding from Jackie. That's a good story we could tell at some point. Yeah, it was Vito, me. We were all hanging out. We are all getting along.
Right.
I just had to remove him because there was no way to sit him down and explain how this worked, and instead he was just like cluttering my fucking social media with his nonsense, mean-spirited nonsense, because he didn't understand the joke. So I just blocked him on everything, and I haven't looked back. So fuck him.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're not missing out on it. He's blocked too now, so I've joined the block club.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, I'm blocked. He even blocked me on TikTok, which I didn't even follow him or know he had it. He literally blocked me by finding me and blocking him.
You know what's funny is when you find out you're blocked by someone is because like someone tried to send you something and you're like,
yes, JoJo sent me a video and I said I can't see it. He's like, Jesus Christ, Vito blocked you on TikTok. And I was like, what? I'm like, yeah,
that's
weird.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Well, there was a couple good wrestling stories for you. We'll tell more. I feel like it. I'm in the wrestling in the mode now. So
yeah,
let's continue this.
The mode to tell stories, the mode to wrestle.
Probably just to tell stories.
I feel like telling stories. There's way less bumps. You don't have to be in shape, and the pay's about the same.
Right.
So you know.
Right. Yeah. Well, you know what? Actually, no, it's not. I'm not getting any hot dogs here or handshakes from you, pal. So.
Well, but every now and then, someone sends you a box of candy in the mail.
Right, but not you.
No. That's fine. I don't need it. I'm so fucking. Let's not get into that.
Yeah. All right. That's enough. We're like nobody's listening to an hour and 10 minutes of this bullshit.
Oh, you'd be surprised. Well, that's also why I tried to pitch the sale before you started telling the stories.
Right.
I figured we'd have twice as many listeners then. Oh,
right.
shit.
Yeah, good call.
Hey.
All right, I'm going to go watch football.
Well, hold on. All right, hang on the line. I had something else to ask you, but not on the podcast. So let me.
All right, goodbye.
Okay, bye.